All right, let's talk Oklahoma Sooners football. It's been one heck of an offseason for Venables' crew as we get ready for spring ball. Not that far away now. Really exciting time. But Oklahoma, as many big moves as they've made, they're not done. Let's get into this latest news and talk about what it could potentially mean for those boys in Norman on the other side. Let's get right into the report. This is from 24/7 Sports. The Oklahoma Sooners are closing in on another potential key hire for the football program. According to sources, Sports Illustrated on the 24/7 Sports Network has learned that OU has zeroed in on Doug Deacon, formerly of San Diego State, as its next special teams analyst hire. According to San Diego State Athletics, Deacon has been with the Aztecs for a total of 17 seasons. He served as the special teams coordinator of the program for around 6 years and has experience as a tight ends coach too. In particular, the Sooners enduring troubles in the kicking game, no kidding, with Zach Schmidt missing 6 field goals in consecutive seasons, including a 12-18 mark in 2022 and a 15 of 21 clip last fall when he just went 2 of 5 on field goals of 40-plus yards. Oklahoma also had experienced troubles in the punt game with a punt blocked and recovered for a touchdown by rival Texas in the Red River rivalry back in October. While punt returner Gavin Freeman struggled fielding punts at times throughout the year, Freeman, who had a punt return for a touchdown in the season opener, 4 punts on the year and averaged just 6.8 yards per return. Yeah, it's no secret. Oklahoma's special teams the last couple of years has been, let me put it very mildly, less than desired. So I think this is a great hire by the Sooners, addressing a big weakness as they get ready to go to the SEC. Miles, I'm curious what your thoughts are on this. But first, Oklahoma fans in the comment section below, look, obviously the direction of this program is going to rely on the quarterback position going forward. And you know the young man behind center, he's ready to have a big-time spring. But with all the attention on Arnold, let's focus on some of his receivers for a second. Who do you think will grow into be Jackson Arnold's number one receiver going forward? Let us know who you think the next great Oklahoma receiver will be in the comment section below. But Myers, what are your thoughts on this move for the Sooners and what it means for them going forward?
Yeah, Nick, I think this is a really under the radar hire for the Sooners because when you think, San Diego State, you don't really think a whole lot about the team in general, much less their special teams, unless you've been following the whole Matt Araiza situation. And you think, well, that's probably their only good player as well. That's the only option they have. That's not true. And it's been in large part to Doug Deacon. He's been a phenomenal special teams coach for this team. You go back all the way to the Matt Araiza years of San Diego State. He had one of the best punting seasons in all of college football, broke pretty much every record when it comes to punting. And then you say, how do you top that? Deacon came in and oversaw Jack Browning take over all three kicking duties for the Aztecs that very next year in 2022. And he went on to really do great. He won the Lou Groza and the Ray Guy awards as well. All Mountain West second team player. He was really phenomenal in those aspects. But I think just being, that good of a special teams coach, people don't think about what you're able to do, what you're able to bring to a team. And coming on as an analyst role, I'm sure it's going to be something where he has to work his way up into a big Power 5 school like Oklahoma. Not quite the same as San Diego State, but I think he can add a lot to this team, especially when you look at Oklahoma. There was one bright spot on their special teams last year, and that was Michigan transfer punter Luke Elzinga. He came in and really started to shine once their punting struggles showed early in the year. I think there's a lot to work with on that team as well. So I think overall, this is a really great hire by the Sooners, and I think that Deacon is going to bring a lot for this program going forward.
Look, we've talked about Oklahoma a lot, and really what we've seen their strategy over the past 365 days plus is that everything Venables has been done with the mindset of how is Oklahoma going to win in the SEC. They've been making moves based on where they're heading, not where they are. Texas, obviously, the great season. I think they've got a bright future as well. They've been making more moves focused on where they were currently in the Big 12. I've got a few concerns about Texas as they go to the SEC. Oklahoma's done a good job making moves as they prepare to move into the Southeastern Conference. And this is another great example of this. Look, everyone looks at the SEC and everyone thinks big time quarterbacks, physical defenses. But the reality is, for the top 2/3 of the teams in the SEC, the difference in talent level between each team is that it's tiny, right? It's basically like the NFL. The difference in talent level between Texas A&M and Tennessee is not a lot. The difference between Alabama and Auburn is not a lot. The difference between LSU and Ole Miss, not a lot. The difference between a Georgia and, let's say, a Florida Gators team, Not a lot, right? Obviously, quarterback play, coaching, and injuries factors into it. But when you look at overall talent, the gap is very, very narrow between each team. That's why you can have a team like Ole Miss win 7, 8 games in 2022, and then this past season make a New Year's Six bowl victory, dominate Penn State, even though talent-wise they had basically the same team plus or minus a few players, right? The SEC is brutally competitive that way. And when you're in those kind of games, in those kind of matchups where the talent gap is so small, the secret sauce that can get you a bunch of wins is quality special teams play, right? It's blocking a punt, flipping a game, it's pinning people deep, it's making kicks, it's having a kicker with consistent accuracy and range, it's having a returner that doesn't muff punts and every once in a while breaks a big one for you, right? It's something we forget about it. They call it the hidden part of the game for a reason. But in brutally competitive matchups, like you're going to find in the SEC, quality special teams play will be the difference between winning or losing 1 or 2 conference games a year. It usually is, right? It's things like this that have hurt teams like Alabama in the past. It's hurt teams like Georgia in the past when they've lost to inferior competition because of special teams miscues. LSU as well has happened to them a number of times too. Oklahoma is getting ahead of the curve. They recognize, Venables recognizes that, look, we need to be really good in the special teams department as we transfer to the SEC. And I think that Doug Deacon hire will be perfect for them to get going from bad on special teams to really good on special teams. I think this is a perfect addition for the Oklahoma Sooners football program as they get ready for a pivotal transition.